morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm MaryAnne, and you're watching MaryAnne's Mystic Mentions. Welcome to my Sun Sign Love Connection readings for today, and the messages that come through out of love and inspiration through my guides and the beautiful oracle divinations that I use. Welcome to the featured sun sign today of Sagittarius. Love Sagittarius, you know this if you've watched me at all, and thank you for coming back if you have been a regular subscriber, and those that are new, absolutely welcome. I have a format where I pick 2 sun signs every day. I go around the zodiac wheel for the beginning of the month readings, where I'm reading for now. I start with Aries, end with Pisces, and I pick a highlighted connection that spirit really needs to have specific messages. I'll try that again. Specific messages sent to you. Woo! For various reasons, because this is about all different love connections. You know, there's partnerships, there's friendships, and there's definite ideas and inspirations that are loving and kind, that come from within and that inspire us and keep us motivated. And speaking of which, that's what you are, Sagittarius. You are a fire sign. You bring so much optimism to your surroundings. You are just full of life and adventure and ideas, motivation, like I said. You have an arrow as part of your symbolism. You're half man, half horse, so there's physicality that comes with you, and I've known this to be very true for any Sagittarius. They seem to love exercise, but I think it's a dual reason, because first of all, it looks good and you want to keep yourself in good shape to all the ventures and the places and travels that you have to do. I mean, that's just who you are. You love to travel and see the world and open your eyes and minds to all sorts of different cultures and situations, and you're a mutable sign. So you welcome that, you look for that. And then also, it's important because you being a fire sign, you have a lot of energy, you know, and it just, sometimes it builds up. Even in the happiest of people, it is still energy, and it can be stressful. So it's very imperative that you release that through different forms of exercise. So I think a lot of you just do that instinctually. And so it's a win-win situation. But so yeah, you have an arrow and you point that arrow, and you have a direction, and it's usually up in the sky and up towards the stars, and it's like, this is what's happening, and bam, it generally always happens, or more than one opportunity comes along, because you are ruled by Jupiter. So I have known many Sagittarians that, I mean, they have their challenges, of course. They're human beings. We're spirits in human bodies, all of us. But they tend to just really have this feeling of like, it's going to happen. I have the courage, I have the strength, I have the belief, I have the faith, and that's huge. That's a huge component for anything you want to manifest in your life. And then they just allow it to happen. They put in the work, though. Absolutely. They're not thinking, oh, yeah, it'll just happen. But a lot of times it actually does just happen that way. The synchronicities are quite astounding at times, I find, for Sagittarians. But love you a lot. You are, like I said, mutable. So you're adaptable, you're open to things, you're very interested in philosophical in-depth thoughts, and higher learning is very attractive to you. And you like to share with others the things that you've learned, you know, in a very honest and, you know, profoundly authentic manner, which I greatly appreciate. A lot of times they'll say, Sagittarius, whoa, you know, you ask them something, they're going to tell you. So be prepared and just appreciate that straightforward approach, because it's not often found, and I personally absolutely love it. They're straight shooters, let's just put it that way. Let's see who your highlighted connection is for today, and what the 3 major categories that will be read about for you, you know, have to say up to this point. Bum, 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 bum. I don't know if it's because I aim it that way. It's because we have so much predominance being with Jupiter, your ruling planet, in Aquarius. It landed on Aquarius. I've done Aquarius a little too much, so I have to move on. But bear in mind, it did come up because it's showing how much in this energy you are, and how actually, what a beautiful energy it is for you. When you have air and fire together, they just help, you know, evolve each other. It's about mind, it's about education, everything that you love and appreciate. You're very strong in that. So we have Jupiter in Aquarius all year for motivation, new ideas, inspiration, Uranus energy, which is bold, you know, unexpected changes, beginnings. You're all for that. Nothing phases you that way. Bring it as far as you're concerned, Sagittarius. But so anyway, I have done a couple of them already. Let me try one more time unless it goes back. Okay, you have Taurus. Well, I like Taurus a lot too, because guess what? We're in Aries season. So if you haven't been feeling, in addition to your own optimism, Sagittarius, the beautiful, bold, courageous beginnings of let's start anew, let's try this, because we're in a place and a circumstance with the energies happening that are lifting every one of us up to our highest potential. New year with the Aries, you know, beginning of the astrology new year, spring for heaven's sakes, you know, wanting to get out and just kind of explore and expand, but have fun and travel. I mean, travel, like I said, is really kind of your middle name. If you haven't already done it, you're already planning the next trip. Could have to do with business though. But yeah, Aries energy is very favorable for you. So there's a lot of beautiful energy you've already been feeling. And I feel like it's a lot of new. So speaking of which, we have the new moon in Aries on Sunday, the 11th. That's the time to absolutely put every single morsel, an ounce of your inspiration into reality, into form. I like to write things down. I feel like they have so much more power behind them when you do. It just is kind of a universal truth. And then I light my intentions candle for new moons. I mean, it's time to really get that, whatever it is, started or going or to the next level. If it's already something you've started already, it's going to progress rather quickly and more powerfully than maybe you even thought it could. And you're usually thinking in the most positive ways, right? So there's that beautiful Aries energy because we're in Aries season. The moon is actually in Pisces until tomorrow when it enters, or early in the morning, tomorrow morning when it enters into Aries. So you still have that incredible heart-centered, romantic, you know, vulnerable kind of side to you that you've been feeling. I think it's still coming from the full moon on the 28th of March in Libra. Libra is a beautiful, beautiful energy for you once again. Fairness, justice, all the things that you fundamentally believe and stand for came from that moon, and the full moon lit up any situations predominantly with relationships, all forms of relationships. It brought light to circumstances. It ended things that weren't going to work. It added and, you know, multiplied the love and the ability to expand your heart. You know, I mean, that fiery, passionate, beautiful energy. It could still be feeling that, especially, like I said, with the Piscean energy coming through. And about healing. Piscean is an incredible energy for healing, also for creativity. So there you go again. You have this new, beautiful entrepreneurial idea to add to the one you're already doing, because it's very common to have Sagittarians doing more than one thing at a time, more than one form of income. But what's interesting is now you have this highlighted connection, which could very well be a person you're very familiar with and have been with for a long time in a romantic sense or otherwise. Taurus energy. So we're entering into Taurus season starting on the 19th. It's a little ways, but it's, you know, we start to feel a little bit more. That's the grounded, practical, you know, money, wealth building sign of Taurus. Just the trust that comes from the steadfast energy of this tried and true, this is working, let's keep it going, I'm not stopping, I'm very patient, I'm very practical and down to earth about how I approach everything, you know, very level-headed a lot of times. Not to say they may not have a little bit of a temper here and there. Taurus is a fixed sign, very, very determined. You like that. That's an attractive energy to you, because when you get your sights set on something, Sagittarius, there's nothing, like I said, that arrow, there's nothing stopping you. This energy together is extremely powerful for building and, you know, just seeing things to fruition, actually recognizing even all the things that you've worked for so very hardly, maybe in the relationship, maybe in, you know, a particular work endeavor or new idea to create wealth for yourself, is really, really, it's more permanent. It's definitely more grounded in in truth and tangible results. That's important. You don't always think in that way, but it's nice to be around people who can balance you out that way, like a Taurus. And you know what, we've got Uranus, the same, you know, ruling planet of Aquarius, in the sign of Taurus, and has been since certainly last year, if not at the end of 2018. I'm not 100% on that. I know it'll be in Taurus till 2025, I believe. So it affects our money. It affects how we invest. It affects on, you know, being, I guess, more patient and cautious than we might normally be, which is not a bad thing. So there's great endurance, and you know, Taurus is ruled by Venus. So there's the love, there's the passion, there's the drive and desire, and that's something you truly want to be around. You don't want to be weighed down by anybody that has less than optimism and, you know, that beautiful work ethic, or however you want to say it, to keep it going, man, and keep the dream alive. So yeah, this is gorgeous for you and very appropriate for now. So if it's not an actual person or persons you know that are an earth sign element like Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo that's influencing you, you may have a lot of earth in your chart, Sagittarius, or you're just really preparing for the reality and the getting your hands dirty and doing the work to achieve the benefits and the amazing prosperity that could come from this connection, or just the drive and the desire and the openness to make it happen. You got to make the step. You got to make those steps. A lot of manifesting can happen sitting in your room in a lotus position as well. It's all about the energy. But in your case, in the way you prefer to do things, you are physically and actively working towards your dreams. And I feel really positive influences coming from these wonderful astrological planet kind of configurations going on right now. So let me read to you the actual messages. Let's see what Spirit has to say. If you're not at all familiar and you're with a particular earth sign, think about the people in your family, you know, close ties in some way, because a lot of times people aren't necessarily aware of when their birthdays are. Taurus in particular would be, you know, the end of April, coming up 19th through May 20th. So, but yeah, just long term. This is about your long-term plan, which is, you know, not something, like I said, a fire sign necessarily. They're like, they want it to happen. They're motivated. They're going to put all the energy they can. They're spirited. They're trusting, and they're bold. And then they just think, okay, that I'm living for the moment most of the time. But it's about really kind of reaching out a little further anyway. Not that we know from one moment to the next what's really going to happen, but kind of putting into our mind something more permanent in our relationships. Maybe a home bought together, maybe investing in a family situation, or, you know, money for a child down the line. Those things all factor in, because when Venus is in the picture, it's love and you know, just incredible, beautiful, wonderful experiences. And it is, once again, money. So yeah, it doesn't have to be, like I said, someone you know now, but maybe someone's coming in with this beautiful new moon influence. So the first card for the two of this beautiful highlighted connection, and mind you, if you're not knowing or really caring, fast forward, because I've got the rune to kind of add to the influence of all of the messages. And then the two oracle cards are for every single Sagittarius and every one of your connections. There's a message for all of you, okay? So yeah, if you're involved as a Sagittarius, anybody watching or cross-watching, there's something in here that you'll probably need to hear, and you'll know whether you resonate. And sometimes it takes a bit to resonate, so you can give it some time. And the first category is overall energy. This is so perfect, and it feels so exactly right. And it is the Six of Wands. And the wands are the fire, and the fire is you, and the fire is Aries, and the fire is this new moon, and the Six of Wands is victory. And it's knowing what you've worked for and what you deserve, and it's recognizing that other people recognize it. And you're going to get accolades for that now. You know, nothing goes unseen, every cause and effect, right? And I'm not saying that you need a big audience, and a lot of times, yes, I do know reserved, you know, Sagittarians. You don't have to be in the limelight to be doing extremely well. or to be recognized. And certainly in your relationships. I mean, if it's just the two of you and you're out on some beautiful location, you know, together, enjoying nature and just reveling and really thriving in the love that you have for each other, that's more than most people could ever ask for, right? So that's a form of recognition too, and it's a beautiful one. But this is fantastic. This is actually, you know, it's like I said, it's support, and you always have divine support. You know that. I feel like a lot of Sagittarians I know, they may not be specifically interested in astrology, though more and more people are understanding the spiritual side of life. They're open to it. They're willing to listen. And, you know, take in all forms of information that's out there for us. You're that way, you know, it's beautiful, it's fun, you're exciting, you're independent too. You have to have that freedom for yourself, and you encourage that for others. That works really well in all relationships, is to have those times you can do things and be independent and come back and be together and feel even stronger for that. I love that a lot, and I think it's beautiful, and I hope that the storyline that we're talking about right now, you know, is synchronistic in that particular main energy that's led you to this reading today. So the second is the possible blessings or obstacles. So you're starting out with, you know, this victorious, like, I have worked, I've achieved, it's being recognized, I can move forward now. There's a lot of things happening in the world, literally, that are opening up for me, and I'm still being safe and whatnot. And then you have we have the Death card. Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid, because that's exactly what we need from last year. We need a complete changing of the guards, certainly a changing of our perspective. And that starts from within, boy. And this is the real deal. This is like, look at this card. These cards are phenomenal. This is the Queens of Tarot deck. Bold, brilliantly, what is it called when the, I'm so sorry. I got on a tangent. Just the illustrations, they're incredibly done. Really appreciate this. But no, this isn't about your death. This is about the death of things that weren't working, the things and the clutter and the debris and things that just stand in your way and do not bring that energy that you want and need to go forward and to feel victorious. Yeah, that's gone. And that's what this new moon will bring in for you, is that new sense of lifting up, the phoenix rising from the ashes, and just feeling so vindicated and so powerful. And there's the sun in the background to extradite that. And there's the horse you're on. You're the horse. You're making sure this happens. You don't like to sit for too long and think about, you know, what didn't happen, as I said. You're all about the changes. That has to happen. And you know what's really interesting? My goodness, thank you, Spirit. The end of the month, I want to say the 28th, is the full moon in Scorpio. This is the sign that depicts Scorpio, because it's going to bring illumination to exactly what I said. You're already on the right path. You already feel incredibly inspired, and you know you're doing what you need to do, and you feel it with every bit of your heart and soul. And so, yeah, that full moon is just going to just ignite and blow up those feelings even more, because that's what the full moon does. And it does absolutely mean culminations and endings for the new beginnings to take place. That is beautifully, the only possible, you know, obstacle would be that perhaps somebody actually did leave this life and go to their back home, if you will, and to, you know, a place where they get to start again as well, because energy never dies. It simply transforms and moves on, right? So there is that possibility, and then there would be that necessary time for letting go and grieving and allowing that during the emotional aspect of all full moons. And the depth of the Scorpio full moon is like none other. But it brings out truth. It brings out things that we need to know and discover, and to illuminate So I love it though. I don't see it as a negative, but you know, there's too many I can't say, and it is a general reading. It is an optimistic time and change for everybody, and certainly for you. And this wonderful connection. So the final card is the overall finances, and you have the Queen of Swords. Where this is the Queen's deck. So yeah, look at you. It's the Aquarian energy. It's the thoughts and the conversations, and it's about being strong and powerful, straightforward, truthful, justice, fairness involving finances. It's institutions, it's, you know, government, it could be about, you know, hospitals and such. And, you know, if there's something happening where you're needing to pay off a specific amount of money for something that had happened, or surgery, or any of those things, come into the light, working it through, getting the proper channels to discuss and converse and complete and find out the best way to move forward. So I feel the strength there, and that intuition that happens with all queens. We all have intuition. When the queen and feminine aspects of ourselves come out, as with the full moons, very much a feminine aspect to all of us. It is, it's really honest, and it's powerful, and it's wanting to help. It's always wanting to be a situation where you help, but we also look inside more. You know, when it's internal, it's like really sorting through and coming up with ways to better relay circumstances, and being very careful, because when there's Aries energy, it can be a little bit combative. You know, there's that fiery kind of impulsivity to Aries. Definitely need to keep things moving and to make things occur, which is great. But I feel like you're going to get a lot of answers, because there's communication coming through when it's the Queen. That's of Swords in particular. And there's that wand saying, yep, I hold my truth, and I want to know exactly what I have to do and what path to take, because I will be only on that path. And it will open up doors that I don't even know about right now. And yes, it does have to do with the wealth of your well-being and your health. So that could figure very much into it. I noticed that this beautiful Queen of Swords is looking directly at the Death card, because something that wasn't working financially or in the health department is being looked at very seriously, and, you know, straightforward, and cutting away any kind of disillusionment. And the determination is pretty incredible. I mean, I know many air signs, and they're very, very independent usually, and very straightforward, like I said, and they are determined to cut and make sure that they make things happen as well, usually through the mind and ways that they think about it. So that's pretty beautiful, powerful energy. And you do have that major arcana, so you not only have the wand starting out the beautiful reading, telling you that you're on the right path and things are good and you should celebrate, but to recognize that you have the ability to take away things, to start the new with this beautiful new moon, and make it happen for yourself. Nothing in your life that doesn't feel good needs to be or should be there anymore. And having confidence and faith, which you do, in building up whatever it is you need to, and having the sustenance and the, you know, the wealth and whatever that means to you. So, wow, let me read to you, or pick out, I should say, kind of, you know, cherry on the Sunday of this reading, the rune, because I have these beautiful runes now that I'm incorporating. One, just to, like I said, the parentheses, or not the parentheses, not the hashtag, but the exclamation mark to, you know, or the period to this message. And you have, I'll be darned, it looks like an H, and I go into the back of this beautiful little cheat sheet, and what is this? Where are you? It does have an H. Oh, okay. It's Hagalaz, number 9. Today's April 9th. Something about nines, culmination, endings, you know, to start anew, to start beginning again. I'll put this on the death because that's very appropriate for a 9. But more importantly, let's read the messages and the words. This oracle is one of the most, well, it's been around forever, and it's incredibly filled with wisdom and empowerment to decisions and questions that people have. It just works so very well. In addition to the beautiful divinations that I use, here it is, Hagalaz. Oh, the period is between October 29th and November 12th. So we're talking about Scorpio, and I put it right on the death because that's what it's all about. The transformations are going to be huge for so many people, and they've been long awaited, and we didn't necessarily have the energy or the vision before, but that's what's being brought to us now. And what we do is, I mean, it's unending what we can do, and we're given the power and the strength and the confidence to do so. So I get excited talking about it, to be honest. This is really going to be life-altering changes for so many people. And if it isn't happening by this full moon, I'm sorry, well, yeah, the full moon, but certainly the new moon, the 6 months that'll end right around Scorpio time, from April to November, is exactly the time period. And sometimes things take a while, even when you know what you want, the step-by-step process, right? It's pretty amazingly synchronistic right now. It's beautiful. The wording that's coming with it, though, is response, sacrifice, caution, solitude, worries, debris, unexpected and initially unwanted birth. Well, now listen, it doesn't necessarily mean the birth of a person, although yes, that could be it. So I'm thinking to myself, that could be a new start for somebody, a lot of you, and having a new person in your life, death and birth. It's a constant, right? But if that's not the case, and it's just something to consider, if you're not wanting it to be, safe and careful and the ways that you choose to, it is, it's about being cautious, but knowing that, you can create such a beautiful new start in regards to anything that, of course, you need to use some caution. I don't even really want to say that because I get that you understand that. Though a fire sign might need to just double check. And that just might be what that's saying, all out of love, right? So yeah, but just some sacrifice, of course, when you start something and you have to put more time and effort. Maybe time away from other things you love doing and having fun, but all worth it. Because with Aquarius, or Saturn in Aquarius as well, in addition to Jupiter, going to keep you on track. And whatever you start in the next couple of years, because Saturn will be in Aquarius through 2023, that ending prize, that gift you're going to get for being on track, for focusing, that new class you want to take, that new subject, that new job you want to learn about, open information and opportunities to grow. Yeah, it can be hard, but you know how fast time goes, so it's going to be worth every single moment. So anyway, I digress. I get into these, I really do. But I think it's really relative, and I think it's very positive in a lot of ways, just reminding you of the things that are there to guide you. And what you do is always going to be your choice, right? So then I go on to the beautiful oracle of the wisdom of the oracle. This is for every single Sagittarius and every one of your connections. And it's really just another loving, inspirational message sent from the universe, because we're all one consciousness. We're all connected, and what it has to say for you is blessed. Indeed you are. And I'm honored to know any of the Sagittarians I've known, my son included. And that's exactly what this is all about. You work hard, you make your decisions, you stick with them, you're dedicated, and you have fun in the process. And you're incredibly blessed. 22, what a beautiful master number that is. I like it a lot. And so yeah, let me read you what it says about blessed, other than what's pretty obvious. So I think you're being blessed in ways you may see and may not even know just yet. And of course, your relationships have a huge amount to do with that any time in my readings. I think they really help to lift you and build you in character and in many ways. So 22. Here we go. The essential meaning: something wonderful that is unearned and unexpected. Grace that is unforeseen, gift from Spirit. I love the word grace. That's what, to me, every moment of my life is grace. Not knowing when the next moment will end, and just taking it all in and planning as much as we can, but realizing that there's so much that just happens, and we can co-create and continue to be the feeling of just being grateful for just being alive in this moment, kind of thing. There are no moments in life when out of the blue it seems that everything has been orchestrated by divine intervention. You feel blessed in ways that are difficult to express. It is as if the Red Sea parts in front of you and events come together to banish your troubles easily and naturally. That's kind of what I'm getting from this beautiful energy here. And you know deep down that you did not deserve any of it, and yet here you are. And please don't ever really feel that way, because of course you do. We all do. That's our birthright, being here, you know. This is one of those times. Let awe and gratitude for all your blessings guide you now. I love it. I'm not going to say much more to that, because it's self-explanatory, and it's all for you. And yes, you have created this type of energy for yourself. And speaking of which, if you want that beautiful super attractor manifestation energy, you just got to believe and create this kind of belief and feeling that will bring it to fruition. Okay? And you've seen it many times. You've done it. You've purposely done it. And it's happened when you least expect it, like the blessings that come around. But your special message for today, I don't know if I mentioned, but today is April 9th, 2021. And for every single beautiful Sagittarian and every one of your connections you have, my super attractor power comes from how I feel, my faith and love, and the joy I put out. What a beautiful Sagittarian kind of energy. I mean, it's so who you are. And yeah, you do put out a lot of joy. I love being around your energy. And there's your fiery, passionate, red exuberance just shining through. And it's a beautiful, I want to say, it's an affirmation for sure, but it's a mantra that you can say over and over and over again and just continue to help with your manifestations and the energy you put out. So I appreciate you being here so much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day, and definitely be thinking and focusing in on this inhuman energy and where you want it to go and take you, because the sky is the limit. If you have not and you're interested at all in subscribing, I would greatly appreciate that, because it definitely helps me to continue with the content and to evolve in this channel. It's a very supportive thing to do, and it doesn't cost a thing. And then also you can comment and let me know or have any questions. I would love to connect with every one of you. And so with that in mind, just take extremely great care of yourself. My heart's with you. Until next time, thank you and bye for now.